Oh, excuse everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the GXHockeyCast. We're on episode 147. Toronto Maple Leaf legend Leo Komarov, come on down, of my little hockey show where once a week I go through all the major news and what's happenings around the NHL, mainly focused in on the Leafs and Flames. Those are my two favorite teams, but I'll be discussing all 32 teams on this podcast. And we're freaking here, y'all. The ending of the season is pretty much here. Most teams are rather done. They got one, maybe two games left, but we are 98% solidified on playoff matchups, except for the Washington Capitals. We don't know between the Montreal Canadiens or the Columbus Blue Jackets who their opponent will be 100% yet. A real inside track that Montreal will get it done. They have a chance tonight to do it. If they win their game, they're in the playoffs and they'll be facing the Washington Capitals, but all the other matchups are set, they're ready to go, and so we're going to be going through the playoff matchups, doing our predictions, and also try my best to go through all the predictions that I made at the beginning of the season, where I thought all the teams would finish the season, where what position they'd be in, the awards predictions, and so on and so forth. Maybe we'll start with that. We'll start with my predictions, and we'll go from there. So in the Atlantic Division, I had the Florida Panthers winning it. That was incorrect. The Toronto Maple Leafs, believe it or not, actually have won the Atlantic Division. They have been on fire, and they actually did the thing, man. They clinched it. They did it. They freaking did it. I'm very proud of the Toronto Maple Leafs. We'll be discussing their matchup. The Battle of Ontario, y'all, is official. That's amazing. I had the Leafs third. I had the Boston Bruins in second place. So that is just, traumatization from me choosing the Bruins to miss playoffs, and then they proceeded to have the greatest regular season in NHL history. So until the Bruins missed, I wasn't going to tell them or say that the Bruins were going to miss. But second place, that's hella wrong. I had Ottawa in eighth. So no belief there. I had Montreal in 7th, no belief. Tampa 4th, Detroit 5th, and Buffalo 6th. So yikes. My Atlantic predictions were all wrong. Everything was wrong except for... No, it's all wrong. It's all wrong. I'm probably all wrong. Very wrong. Not good at all. Ottawa being in 8th is a real wolf. Over them being behind Buffalo, that's a real bad one. So not good on me. In terms of the Metro, I had the Rangers first place, which, can you really blame me? Like, they were first place the year prior, but they had an absolute fucking nightmare of a season, which I don't think I'll have time to break that down today on today's episode, but we'll get to the Rangers, man. What a disaster of a season. I had them first, so that was wrong. New Jersey second, not bad. They did make the playoffs, though they are limping into the playoffs, we'll say that. Carolina third place. I had them going in, but they were better than that. New York Islanders, I had them 4th. Washington 5th, so I wasn't really sold on the moves that Washington made in the offseason. Pittsburgh 6th, Columbus 8th, and Philadelphia 7th. So, not a lot of us had a lot of hope in Columbus, and their playoff hopes are still technically alive. If they win tonight, I believe they're in, or they win their next game or whatever, but it's coming right down to the game 82 for Columbus and Montreal, which is fun. I didn't do too bad in the Metro aside from the Rangers not making it and the Capitals not getting into the playoffs, but not too bad. Pacific, I had Edmonton in first place, Vancouver in second place, oh dear. Vegas in third place, okay, that's respectable. Los Angeles in fourth, okay, that's not bad. Seattle 5th, Anaheim 6th, Calgary 7th, and San Jose 8th. So sadly, Calgary, their playoff hopes are officially done now. They tried, man. They really, really tried. I actually thought for a second there they might actually be able to pull it off, but for a few weeks now, I've pretty much said, I don't think it's in the best interest for the Flames to get in there. But, man, it would have been really cool because that would have been 7 of the 8 Canadian teams making playoffs. And it would have been really weird because Vancouver would have been the one out. And weird. So, Flames, I had them 7th, and then San Jose 8th. So, not bad. Calgary did a lot better than expected. San Jose's right. Anaheim seems a little bit... Maybe they did a little bit better. Seattle, maybe a little worse. But, just not good. Central, you got Dallas first. I think that is how it went down. Colorado second, not quite. No, sorry, Winnipeg is first, but Nashville third, so I did believe in Nashville with their big moves, but that came back to bite me. I had Winnipeg fourth. I said they were going to make the playoffs, but yeah, they did way better than I thought. We got St. Louis fifth. We got Minnesota sixth. Utah, seventh, and Chicago eighth. Okay, so not great. Nashville, I believed in them too much. I didn't believe in Winnipeg enough. Dallas, Colorado seems about right. Minnesota surprised me for sure. Now, in terms of the awards that I chose, let me just get these stats up here for the whole entire league. Beautiful. All right. So the Hart, I had nominated McDavid, McKinnon, and Kucherov. Now, we don't know the nominees just yet, but McKinnon and Kucherov are definitely going to be in there. This year for McDavid was a little bit of a backstep, some injuries and stuff like that. Draisaitl would probably be the replacement for that, but it looks like that is actually a pretty decent prediction. In terms of the Art Ross, I had McDavid winning it with 158 points, so yeah, I did not see the point production going down as much as it did this season, but yeah, we took quite the dip in offensive production this year. I think 150-plus goal scorer this season, where, 2 years ago we had like 3 60-goal scorers, pretty wild. But 158 points for McDavid, nope. But I also had Kucherov and McKinnon in that race, and they're both leading it. Kucherov will win the Art Ross. He has 121 points to McKinnon's 116. So, I was on the right path, but definitely way overshot how many points we were going to get. Ted Lindsay, we got McDavid, Matthews, McKinnon. Seems like McKinnon's probably going to be the only guy in that race. You got the Rocket. All right, so Matthews, I predicted 66 goals. I was about halfway there, so yikes. I had Kyle Connor in that race as well. He's in there, but not really. And Sam Reinhart. I expected Reinhart to be, I didn't think he'd get to 57 again, but I thought people were like kind of poo-pooing on him. I was like, he's a really good goal scorer. I could see him getting back to that 50 number, but here he is at 39. So a little bit off. The leaders are Leon Draisaitl will win the Rocket Richard. He has 52 goals, and the next closest is Will Nye the Science Guy. 45 goals for Willie. So again, I predicted more goals than I expected, and I did not expect Matthews to have less, like half the amount of goals than I predicted him to. Tage Thompson rounds out the top three with 44 goals, and he was on absolute fire. So in terms of the Norris, I had Makar, Yossi, and Quinn Hughes in there, and I have a little star next to Yossi's name, so I'm guessing I chose him. He had not a great year. Injuries definitely hurt Yossi's year, and Nashville's year was just all around disappointing. So yeah, Yossi I don't think is even going to be mentioned, mostly because of injuries. He had a good year going for him, but no. So Makar, yeah, he'll definitely be in there, and Hughes will absolutely be in there. Those are probably the two front runners, and I would think that Makar has the inside track considering he scored 30 freaking goals this year. That is the first time a defenseman has done that since Mike Green with the Washington Capitals, where he was ripping like 37 goals as a defenseman. Insane. We do not see that. And people are talking about they could see Makar having like a 40-goal season at some point in his career, which is bananas. Absolutely insane. So, I would say Makar's probably going to win it. So I was wrong on that. Calder, I only had Celebrini down, so I was probably, when I made the prediction, I wasn't really sure who and who wasn't going to make the NHL at that point. The only one I think I saw was Celebrini, so, it's a fine choice, but it's still up there. It's still up for debate. I mean, Dustin Wolf was still trying his best to win it, but I do still believe it's Hudson's to lose with Montreal's still not in the playoffs 100%, but yeah, I think Lane Hudson's going to get a lot of attention, and Dustin Wolf as well. In terms of the Vezina, I had Saros, Shesterkin, and Sorokin in there, so I am shocked at myself that I did not put in Connor Hellebuck, which is just like, what the hell am I thinking right there? He, I think, easily is winning the Vezina this season. 46 wins. That is fucking crazy. 8 shutouts. He's got a goals against average of 2.02, and a save percentage of 924. For the amount of games that he's played, slam dunk, Connor Hellebuck is winning another Vezina. I believe that is back-to-back Vezinas. And, dude, Saros, he was good, but just, not a good team. And then Shesterkin, kind of up and down. At times he looked incredible, and at times he looked a little bit pedestrian. So he's prone to bounce back. Sorokin, I thought, was excellent this year for the Islanders. Islanders just aren't that good of a team. So, decent. Selke, got Barkov, Matthews, and Hischier. I don't really know who's really in contention for that. I think Matthews is probably out. I think Hischier and Barkov are solid. I think they'll definitely be in there. Maybe Marner. We'll see. Jack Adams. At Rod the Bod from Carolina. I put down Washington, which is, hey. So I believe, I probably put that down as just like, there's not a lot of hype around them, but they could potentially win games. So I put down Washington, and then fucking Lindy Ruff. I put him down there for Buffalo. If by chance Buffalo made the playoffs, he would very much so be in that conversation. But it was a fucking disaster, the Lindy Ruff situation this year. So I think Rod DeBod, I put him in there because he deserves to win it. Same thing with Cooper in Tampa Bay. He could win it. But I think it's Washington's Spencer Carberry, I think his name is. I think he will be winning it. And then my prior to the season starting cup prediction was the Dallas Stars to win it and the Conn Smythe to go to Jake Ottinger. So, we still don't know that answer yet, but that was my preseason predictions right there. Overall, pretty bad, especially with the standings. The awards weren't terrible, but not good. So let's get into some more predictions. If you can tell, don't bet on what I'm saying here. Don't bet the house on my predictions and shit like that, because apparently I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, which isn't really a shock to me. But all right, so I think we got to start with the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Ottawa Senators, do we not? Like the Battle of frickin' Ontario, very special to me. That was the first playoff series I watched as a Leaf fan. And it was an amazing 7-game series. Definitely better memories for the Toronto Maple Leafs side of things. But, man, this was a special series for me. Like, I had my homie Sean. We would wear our Toronto Maple Leaf jerseys to school every single day. He had Sundin. I had Belfour. And there was a student helper teacher guy, and he was a Sens fan. And he wore his jersey every day, and we would battle. I remember we were printing off pictures of Alfredson and chopping off his head and stuff like that. It was awesome. A huge, great rivalry. And the games were awesome. It was a back and forth series. Toronto wins, Ottawa wins, Toronto wins, Ottawa wins, I think. Or it might have been a home thing where Toronto wins the home games, Ottawa wins the road gate or their home games. But then that game 7, it was just all Toronto. Ottawa absolutely collapsed. Lalime letting in 2 just leaky-ass goals from Nieuwendyk, and Bob's your uncle. But then the Leafs go on to get pretty handedly by the Philadelphia Flyers in 6 games. I cried, and there we go. Then I went, 9 years with no playoffs again? But here we are, fucking over 20 years later, we're back, baby. Ottawa versus Toronto. So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at the states. Let's take a look at all that stuff. So let's start with their last 10. Obviously, Toronto has a real good thing going for them right now. They're 8-1-1 in their last 10 games, winning 4 in a row. They're looking great right now, playing very, very good hockey. And, makes me a little bit nervous. Maybe they were using a little more gas than wanting to clinch that Atlantic spot and make sure they were already secured home ice, but winning that Atlantic, that's why the fuck not? I've never seen them do it, so that's really cool. Their home record is 26-13-1, away 25-13-3. So no real eye-popping advantage right there. They're good at home, they're good on the road. So that's good. In terms for me personally, I don't think Toronto plays better at home, especially in the playoffs. I find they tend to play better games on the road, so I don't really find I'm not going to put a home ice advantage on this series. Though Toronto, I actually scratch that. Toronto does, because the fact that they're playing against Ottawa, and we know that the Leaf fans are going to show up in Ottawa in their home building, and it's I don't know what the percentage is going to be. Is it going to be as close as 50-50, maybe 60-40 Sens? Is it going to be more Leaf fans than Sen fans? Like, I don't know. That's going to be really interesting. So sure, we can give the Leafs the edge there, where they're basically playing all the games at home, or as close as you can to that. So Leafs definitely have an advantage right there, and they're white hot right now coming in to this season. In terms of their point leaders, you got William Nylander, 40-goal guy. They also have, a 30-goal scorer in Austin Matthews, almost another 40 goals out of John Tavares, 29 goals out of Matthew Knies. You got a 20-goal scorer, Bobby McMann, and you got 25-plus goals out of Mitch Marner. So, again, we know that the Leafs are top-heavy. That top six is pretty much generating all the offense. You got Nicholas Robertson there. The only other guy that is not in the top six on a regular basis that has over 10 goals on the Leafs. So scoring depth will be an issue for this team. More than likely, it's been an issue where if the big guys aren't producing in the playoffs, then you're not getting it. You're not going to find much anywhere else. So Leafs got to be we know this. But Marner, 100 points. Congratulations. He did it. He got the 100 points. So now we can take that off him as the best 100-point player to never score 100 points. Now he's done it, so he can scratch that off. Good for him. Over 70 assists. So you know what Marner is bringing. He is an amazing all-around player. You know how effective he is on penalty kills, power play. He's an amazing player. William Nylander, generally known as the Leafs' most consistent playoff performer. He's been amazing this season, not really slowing down. John Tavares had a phenomenal bounce-back season. Matthew Knies, he looks like he is going to be the answer for Brady Tkachuk. They're going to send out Brady. We'll be sending out Matthew Knies. I think Brady Tkachuk has the inside tracks, better all-around player right now, but Matthew Knies, I don't think he's that far away. So you got Morgan Rielly, the top scoring defenseman on the team, 41 points. He was a -9. But Morgan Rielly, last few seasons now, he has become the best version of himself in the playoffs. So hopefully he can do that again. It was a down season for Mo overall, a lot of scrutiny towards him all season long. But all said and done, 41 points, pretty good. It's not like usually we expect Morgan to be around 50, 55, maybe 60 points. But this team changed this year. Got Craig Berube here, new system, new style of play, more shot blocking, better defense, and so on and so forth. So yeah, obviously the team took a pretty drastic hit in terms of point production on the team. Matthews went from 69 goals down to 32 goals this year, only played in 66 games. So Matthews being bumped up. How ready is he? What's his percentage coming into the playoffs? It's definitely not 100%. So there is that. In terms of their defense, I think this is the best defensive core the Leafs have come into with the playoffs in my history watching them. And in terms of goaltending, so this is a little bit of the thing, kind of a good problem to have. They have two really good goaltenders on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Anthony Stolarz, I would say right now, is the playoff starter with a 21-8-3 record, 214 goals against average, and a 926 save percentage with 4 shutouts. So he had a little bit of an injury situation. A little bit of a speed wobble there when he came back from the injury. I found his rebound control really shaky, but he's tightened it up and he looks ready and primed to go for a run in the playoffs. I think his leash will be short if he gets lit up in game 1, let's say. I think they go to Joseph Woll. I don't think it's going to be pretty quick to switch. And then once a goalie gets hot, I don't think they're going to be they're going to keep switching them every single game. If Anthony Stolarz has a great game 1, he's playing game 2. I don't think they would fuck with that and just put in Joseph Woll. Go with the hot hand. If Stolarz gets lit up, he's coming out, Woll goes in, and then we go from there. If Woll gets lit up, well, then we're pretty much fucked. So, it doesn't matter at that point. So I think Anthony Stolarz, day 1 starter, and we go from there. And 3.25 goals per game throughout the regular season. That's 7th in the league. Goals against was 10th in the league. Power play, 7th in the league, and their penalty kill, 16th. So top 10 everywhere except for the penalty kill. The penalty kill had struggled, and special teams is very important in the playoffs. It can make or break your team. So again, I'm not going to take their regular season numbers into account too much here because the playoffs are a different animal, completely different beast, but encouraging numbers going in. They've shown they can score. They've shown, for me, them being at 2.79 goals against per game. That's got to be the best I've seen. Like I don't think we've had two goalies play this well together. We've had goalies have great seasons, but not as a tandem. You know what I'm saying? Power play at 25. That's damn good to me. I feel like the power play hadn't been scrutinized as much this year, definitely early on, but once they got it going, it really hasn't been too much of a talking point. So all in all, encouraging numbers. Let's go and take a look at the Ottawa Senators, and let's see what they're looking like as I navigate these not great websites. All right, Ottawa. Well, regardless, this is amazing for the Ottawa Senators, man. I'm very happy that they're here. They're in a playoff spot. Fans are excited. Everyone's excited, man. And it all started with the Allmark signing in the offseason. That was the move that was expected to get the playoffs, get Ottawa to that playoff spot. And here we are. They're fourth in the Atlantic, 44-30-7 is their record. Coming in to the playoffs, they are... where and how do I operate that? There we go. Okay, I see how you're doing it. Not how I would do it personally, but all right. All right, Ottawa, how we doing here? So their last 10, 6-2-2, one overtime loss right now, so they're pretty good. 6-2-2, that's not a bad record coming into the playoffs. I guess I could talk about goal differential. I didn't really mention that with the Leafs, but the Ottawa Senators are currently a +7. They have 236 goals for, 229. So not amazing. The Leafs are a +36, so quite a bit better. In terms of their home and away, they're 26-11-3 at home, 18-19-4 on the road. So they definitely prefer to play at home. And, coming into this playoff series, they will have, they'll be starting on the road. And like I talked about, they're not going to have full support at home. There's going to be an invasion of blue in that building, and we'll see how major that is going to play into it. I really hope the Ottawa Senators fans show up. This is a different team from the last time, and a different organization since the last time they've been here. New owner, they're on the right path. Things are looking good. They got great young players set up for a very long time here, and things are looking good for a change for Ottawa. So that is refreshing. All right. So goals for, they're 21st. Goals against, 11th. Power play, 23.5. That's 13th. And their penalty kill, 77.9. So they're not top 10 in anything. Goals for, they're struggling to score. They've struggled to score. They've been a little bit up and down with that one. I know they were scoring at will at the beginning of, the season, but that's fairly common. That's generally a systems thing. Teams are getting used to it, and they got to get used to the system. So in terms of point production, the Ottawa Senators don't have any point per game guys. I don't even see a 30-goal scorer on this team. So yeah, that tracks. It seems like the Ottawa Senators do struggle to score. They do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys that are over 20 goals. So you got Shane Pinto, Brady Tkachuk, Drake Batherson, and Tim Stützle. Stützle led the team in scoring this year, 76 points, 23 goals, 53 assists. So a pretty good season. I had him in fantasy last year. He did not have a good season. And, he started out really hot, kind of tailed out a little bit. I was kind of hoping for more than 76 points out of him, but a good bounce back season. Drake Batherson was good. There's just, not a lot of goal scoring here. They do, all right, you got Claude Giroux. He's got 15 goals. Ridley Gregg got 13. Michael Amadio got 11. Adam Gaudette, he had a pretty nice season. He's got 17 goals in 80 games. Definitely punching above his weight class. But yeah, the Ottawa Senators could struggle to score in the playoffs. But, they have Allmark. So Allmark is their goalie. You got to think this guy's going to be starting, right? He's making the big bucks, and he got the big contract. So yeah, 43 games played, 24-14-3 record, 2.67 goals against, and a .911 save percentage with 4 shutouts. Allmark is a little bit up and down. He can have great games. He can have great weeks. He can have a rough week. He can, so depends what Allmark shows up. He generally plays quite good against the Leafs, and so do the Senators. They swept them, I'm pretty sure, the Toronto Maple Leafs in their four-game meeting this year. So yeah, that makes me a little bit nervous. again, playoffs is a different beast. So I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. Like, yeah, that's not ideal. You do not want to have that kind of record against a team that you're playing in the playoffs. That's not ideal. And I do not like the way that the Leafs play the Ottawa Senators. And Ottawa plays really good against the Leafs, man. So that's definitely going to play a factor into this series. But Allmark, he has the game-stealing potential. He can absolutely steal a game. He can have a save percentage of .970-something. He's absolutely capable of doing that. So Allmark, you got to keep your eye out on him. Other big, Brady Tkachuk is going to be very important. I think Jake Sanderson is going to be very, very important to the team. And then it's going to come down to the guys that also fucking Dylan Cousins. I think Dylan Cousins could be a wrecking ball out there. He, in 20 games with the Senators, got 13 points. Not amazing. It's not bad, but he's definitely doing better, I would say, than he did in Buffalo. So all said and done, I will be picking the Toronto Maple Leafs to win this series. I think it's going to be plucky. I think it's going to be, I would give the size advantage to Toronto, which is crazy for me to be saying, but, Carlo, Tanev, McCabe, you got Nyes, you got Domi is going to be a handful out there too, that. But, Ottawa has guys too. Like, I'm expecting David Perron to be an asshole out there. Nick Cousins isn't going to be fun. I think Dylan Cousins the Cousins aren't going to be fun. Tkachuk obviously will not be fun. But their blue line doesn't really scare me in terms of, like, big hitters, big scary guy. They got Travis Hamonic, but I'm not really worried about that. Artem Zub, I'm not really worried about him. So I think Leafs have a major size advantage, especially on defense. So that's going to help. I think the Leafs, I think they're actually they should be able to outmuscle the Ottawa Senators. I think the Leafs have the advantage in terms of offense, defense, and I would say right now, goaltending as well. So we'll see. Right. Oh, so let's put games on it. Let's do games. I don't want Toronto to go to a game 7 because that is not how things go. So I'm going to be picking the Toronto Maple Leafs in 6 games. So Toronto in 6. There we go, everybody. So let me know what you think is going to go down with the Battle of Ontario. I think it's going to be a banger. It's definitely, there's some pretty enticing matchups in this first round. This is definitely going to be one of those more enticing matchups. It's going to be really fun, man. I can't wait to see this one. The Battle of Ontario is freaking back, baby. And now for our next series that I'm pretty sure it's set in stone is the Battle of Florida. It's Florida Panthers versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. Oh, baby. So, again, another fantastic matchup. These two don't like each other. The Battle of Florida, and it's generally gone Tampa's been the better Florida team for most of their existence, but the Stanley Cup defending champion Florida Panthers are looking to come back in and do some work. But also remember, they went to the finals the year prior, and they're also fairly beaten up right now, right? So let's take a look at, holy shit, that's a lot of injuries. All right, Matthew Tkachuk, groin injury, return date April 16th. You got Sam Bennett, upper body injury, April 18th. Barkov, day-to-day. He's resting until April 18th. So where the fuck are we? We're at the 16th, so that's okay. So these guys are going to be back. That's good. Aaron Ekblad, he might miss a game or two because of the suspension. He's back on the 21st. Sam Reinhart, 18th. Nosek, 18th. Okay, all these guys are going to be coming back for the 18th. Gustav Forsling, AJ Greer, Anton Lundell. All right, so they should be good to go for the playoffs. All right, that's good to know. Good to know. That's a lot of but like I talked about it last week, that the Panthers are kind of limping their way into the playoffs right now, and well, that's because they're fucking injured as shit. So take that with a grain of salt. Yeah, Florida has not been playing good lately, but they're super injured, and we know what their bread and butter is. Their bread and butter is playoff hockey, and that's what we're going to. So, in terms of the record coming in, okay, Florida, we'll do this. All right, their last 10, 3-6-1, so not good. Well below 500, not an encouraging record, but again, this is the Florida Panthers. They're veterans at this. This team is a veteran playoff team. I think they know what they're doing. They're being coached by Paul Maurice. He's probably like, we're banged up as shit. We're not going to win the Atlantic. We're not getting home. Well, they could have gotten home ice, potentially, but I don't think they really care that much. I mean, they do, but they don't. I think what is more important for them is to get healthy, so they're like, we'll fucking sit guys out. We'll rest Sam Reinhart, even though he's good to play. Rest him anyway, get him ready, and who gives a shit? They're going to turn it on in the playoffs, man. We know this. They're going to. So 3-6-1, not a great record coming in. 27-12-2 is their home record. 20-19-2 is their away record. So maybe they should have fought for home ice a little bit harder because they play much better, and they're just kind of whatever on the road. But again, playoffs, different beast. Goal differential, you're looking at a plus 29 for the Florida Panthers. Good. Nothing wrong with that. 250 goals for, 223 goals against. So, pretty good in terms of goal scorers. Like I said, this is a fucking injured-ass team right here, and they went to the playoffs. They went to the finals 2 years in a row, so take it with a grain of salt. But Sam Reinhart, point-a-game player, 81 points in 79 games. Now, he definitely went backwards in terms of goal scoring. He went from 57 to 39 goals, which it was expected, but, I was hoping he would get a little bit more than that, but he is the leading scorer, and he's fantastic. He can do everything. Play penalty kill, he's great. So I'm expecting a big series for him. Alexander Barkov's going to come back nice and healthy. He's over a point-a-game player, and we know how good he is defensively and face-offs and all that stuff. Matthew Tkachuk he's been down for quite a bit, so hopefully he comes in pretty nice and healthy. He's over a point-a-game player as well, but only played in 52 games, so take that into consideration. Kata Verhaeghe, he played a pretty healthy season, 81 games, 53 points, 20 goals, so they only have one guy that scored, I'll say 40 goals, 39 for Sam Reinhart, so one 40 goal scorer, and then only 4 other people that got 20 or more goals on this team. So it is a team that is 15th this season for goal scoring throughout the regular season. So right around the middle. But again, this is a team that I expect is going to turn it on more for playoffs. So you got Sam Bennett, 51 points. He's going to be a menace, and that is what this team is known for in the playoffs. This is not a fun team to deal with in a 7-game series. Kachuk's going to be beating the shit out of you. Sam Bennett's going to be beating you up. You got Sam Miskevich, who seems pretty plucky. Mikko Mikkola. You got Kulikov. You got fucking the new addition, Seth Jones. You got Brad Marchand is here. Like, oh boy. Jesse Puljujarvi, I think he's getting in trouble. But, all right, so we know what Florida's all about. They're going to hit you. They're going to block. They will score. They're going to pound you. They're not a pleasant team to deal with in playoffs. And then goaltending. You got the Bob Roski, 33-19-2, 244 goals against, and the .906 save percentage, 5 shutouts. Pretty standard Bob stuff right there. That's a really good season for him. .906 save percentage, that's actually quite good for this year. I would say he's an above-average goaltender, and he turns it on for the playoffs. So I'm not really worried about Bobrovsky. They no longer have Spencer Knight, I believe, so Vitek Vanacek will be there to back him up. Not really too worried about that one right there. Okay, so that is the Florida Panthers. Oh, hold on, I should check out all their other, there? So goals against, they're fantastic. 7th in the league, 2.72. So they got great defense, really strong goaltending, and two-way play by their forwards. Power plays pretty strong, 23.5, and their penalty kill is great. 80.7 is the top 10. So they're top 10 in their defense. Their offense struggling a little bit, but I think that's mainly because of injuries. So again, this is a very, very strong team. We'll go to Tampa Bay. So Tampa, they are, what do we got? 6-1-3 in their last 10 games. So quite the opposite of the Florida Panthers. That's good sign for Tampa. They've been playing quite well down the stretch. 29-8-4 is their home record. 18-18-4 is their away. So they're liking the fact that they got home ice. They're very hard to beat at home, and they're just kind of whatever on the road. So that home ice advantage could really be a benefit for the Tampa Bay Lightning. But again, you're going up against a veteran Florida team, so it will not be easy. All right, the goals differential, though, they're one of the best in the NHL at a plus 79, 294 goals against, and a 215 goals against. So that is really good. And it shows right here. These guys are elite across the board. First place for goals for. They know how to score. Goals against, they are third. Power play, they are fifth. And their penalty kill is sixth. So that is definitely the best across the board we have seen so far. This team should scare the shit out of Florida Panther fans right now. And yeah, I agree. So they don't have any major injuries right now. Bjorkstrand has a lower body. He'll be back for the 19th. Outside of that, they're doing okay. So in terms of their statistics, let's take a look at Vasilevsky, because he has had a sensational bounce back season and they needed it. 63 games played, 38 wins, outstanding, 38-20-5 record, 218 goals against, and a 921 save percentage. Absolutely phenomenal with 6 shutouts. So Vasilevsky is back, and that is not good for anyone that's got to go up against him in the playoffs. So, me as a Leaf fan, I'm not horribly worried about Vasilevsky being great, because the Leafs have generally done well against him. So there is that. But he looks back in form, and, if Vasilevsky goes down, they're pretty fucked, because their other goaltender is a 898 save percentage and a 792 save percentage, even though Mr. Halverson only played 1 game. But yeah, Vasilevsky is the guy. He is one of their most important players, if not the most important player they have this season. And offensively, they're stacked. You got Kucherov, 121 points, the Art Ross winner. This guy is gonna be insane. You got Brandon Hagel, 90 points out of this guy. Hey, remember Chicago, how you guys got rid of this guy for no fucking reason? Well, there you go. 90 points from him, 35 goals. Like, damn, dude, they got very heavy on the top, on the front end in terms of goals. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 30-plus goal scorers, 2 40-plus goal scorers, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players that have had 20 goals and above. That's all including the 40 and the 30 and everything, but still, okay. So Braden Point, great season again, 42 goals, 40 assists, excellent. Jake Gensel, he was excellent. He's got 41 goals. Victor Hedman, excellent season out of him. He's 66 points. Anthony Cirelli, he had a pretty fucking good production. It's 27 goals out of him. Nick Paul had 22 goals. Like, damn. But then after that, it really drops down. There's only one guy that has double-digit goals, and that is Mitchell Chaffee, who I do not know who that is, but he has 12 goals. So, yeah, it's a little bit heavy in the front. They don't have the greatest bottom 6, but they did bring in Yanni Gourde, so he's been helping out pretty fucking good. He's got 14 points in 20 games. Only 1 goal, but still, Bjorkstrand's got 9 and 18, so, they did add some guys to help with that middle 6, so that could definitely be good. Their defense, I don't know, man, they got Ryan McDonough and Victor Hedman. After that, well, they have Eric Chernak, and then it's just guys, I don't really know who they are. Like Perbix, I'm like, who the fuck is that? They do have JJ Moser, I know him. But yeah, their defense, I don't know, it's Vasilevsky, man. So that's definitely covering for what is it's a top heavy defense. It's the first 3 guys are pretty fucking good. Then after that, you're like, what? But this team is dangerous right now, man. And they're itching to make a big impact in the playoffs again. They made huge moves in the offseason, moving off of Stamkos. They brought in Gensel, and it worked out great. They brought back in McDonough. Yeah, dude, this team is looking really, really strong. And with that being said, I think I'm going Tampa Bay in Game 7. I want this to be an absolute war for the sake of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I need these 2 teams to kill each other. I'll go Tampa Bay in 7 games. So I think they're going to be kind of similar to Tampa Bay, where they've been going on deep playoff runs, and I think injuries are starting to catch up with them. And Tampa just looks like they're going to be on a mission this year around, and there's still a lot of guys there from their championship runs. I know Stamkos isn't there, but they got Hedman, Vasilevsky, Braden Point. So, the big guys are there, and I think Tampa Bay is going to deliver the goods this year. They're going to take down Florida and win the Battle of Florida. And of course, let me know who you think will win, who will come out the winner of the Battle of Florida. But like I said, the most important thing for me is that those two teams kick the crap out of each other, and they're so tired and beaten up and bruised and battered by the time they get to the Leafs, they're just dust. There's just nothing left. So hopefully that goes down. Let's go to the next series. We got Carolina versus the New Jersey Devils. So this one, I would say, has maybe not as much hype as the last two series that we just discussed. I can't say I have very much interest in this one myself, but Carolina Hurricanes. So they are their last 10. They're 4-5-1. Nothing special right there. They've lost one right now. 31-9-1 home record. 16-19-4 away record. So they're really happy they got that home ice advantage. That they played great at home this season. That's not good, not encouraging. Their away record, that's something they're going to want to work on. And if they can get a road win, that's going to be huge for Carolina. It's probably going to help the confidence out a lot. And they're plus 37 in terms of goal differential, 259-4, 222 against. So pretty good right there. Those are, aside from the away record being sub 500, not ideal. In terms of their other stats, they're pretty much elite across the board, except for their power play stinks. Goals for, they're 8th, 3.24. Goals against, they're 8th as well, 2.74. Power plays 26th at 18.6. That's pretty bad. And their penalty kill is outstanding. It's the best in the league, 84.1%. So that's kind of been a problem with Carolina for a while now, is that their offense dries up in the playoffs. Usually does good until they get around round 3, where it's really getting hard to score. And their lack of omega, super hyper megastars tends to be the highlight of that. They're like, oh, they don't have Mikko Rantanen. They don't have McKinnon. Oh, well, they had Mikko Rantanen, and guess what? He wasn't playing like that omega hyper megastar that they allegedly need. So they trade him, they bring in Stinky, they bring in some other guys, and they've done good. They've been playing, I know their last 10's not all that impressive, but they've been playing pretty good. Goaltending is going to be interesting. I don't know who the hell they're going in there. Hold on, let me take a look at injuries. Holy shit, that is a lot. Okay, those guys are all resting. Jesper Fast is not going to be here. He won't be coming back for the playoffs. And yeah, it looks okay. Everyone should be good to go for the playoffs. All right, so goaltending's going to be interesting. Who the fuck are they going in there with? They've used 5 different goaltenders this year. Kochetkov, Anderson, Tokarski, Martin, and Peretz. Peter Kochetkov has the most games played, 27-15-3 record, 259 goals against, and an .897 save percentage. So that's not great. 2 shutouts. You got Anderson, 21 games played, 13-7-1 record, 2.29 with a .907 save percentage. But Anderson is prone to injury and prone to letting in deflating goals. Especially in the playoffs, where you're like, yo, this guy just made 5 10-bell saves, and then he just let in a muffin that absolutely just destroys all the momentum of the game. I don't think Tokarski will be playing. I'm guessing they're going with Kochetkov. He's played the most. His save percentage is sub 900, which is not great. It's not unplayable like how sub 900 was like 2 years ago. He's probably like, maybe a little lower than average, so not ideal. And that's another issue that Carolina's dealt with for a while, is just like a consistent goaltender. Injuries has been just a constant problem for their goalies for years, especially Anderson, and then they had Antti Rinta before that. Just oof. So yeah, their goaltending is definitely up for questioning. Well, I don't think anyone really has a big, like, if Kochetkov gets lit up in the first game, Anderson's going in, and yeah, it's definitely going to be a question mark, but I would have to think that Kochetkov will start. In terms of their point producers, you got Sebastian Aho as their highest with 74 points in 79 games. You know, Aho has always been a very consistent player for Carolina. A lot of people are of the mind if he went somewhere else, he would be 90, 100-point player, but the style that Carolina plays, you know, offensive numbers are lower, but wins are aplenty. So that's how that goes. But just shy of 30 goals, 29 for him. Jarvis had 32. He's the second highest point production guy, but, like, your top two guys are 74 and 67 points, then it goes down to 55, and that's Martin H.S. He doesn't even play here anymore. So, yeah, they struggle with high-end point production, but they get production pretty consistently throughout the lineup. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys with double-digit goals, so not bad. 1, 2, 3 of them are 20 or more, so... that's not great. They definitely don't score a lot of points. They're a strong two-way team. They will get I don't know, man. They just never been a fucking point producing team. So who's gonna be the guy that really steps up? Is it gonna be fucking Jackson Blake? Is it gonna be Kotkaniemi? Maybe he finally pops off. I don't know. Jack Drury, Stankoven. I don't know, man. Like the team doesn't, like, blow me away. Like, they look like Carolina, man. It looks like a Carolina team that could maybe get past the first round, but after that, I don't really see them doing a whole lot of damage right here. It's a really good team, but, like, they are missing a couple of key ingredients, man. I think in terms of defense, they have it in Jacob Slavin. I think that guy is a fucking superstar defenseman. He doesn't get the points, but in terms of actually playing defense, the guy's amazing. Goaltender, yeah, they could use that elite, trustworthy goaltender. They just haven't had that. And then they don't have that bona fide fucking game-breaking superstar. But it's a good, well-balanced team, I will say. But then you got the New Jersey Devils, who honestly have been kind of riding that early wave. They were on fire out of the gates, and they rode that hot start into the playoffs. If they didn't have that hot start, I don't know if they would make it. They had not been playing well down the stretch. 5-4-1 in their last 10. 19, 16, and 5 at home. 23, 16, and 2 on the road. So they're actually, in terms of record, better on the road, which is good because they're starting on the road. So that will help. Potentially. They're plus 23 in terms of goal differential, 244, 240 goals, and 217 against. So obviously the team has been dealing with injuries. They will not have their number one superstar, Jack Hughes, in the playoffs for them, and that pretty much took the wind out of a lot of their sails, though I still think they have quite a few other really good players. But yeah, they're not going to have Jack Hughes, who is their number one offensive guy, pretty much. All right, so what do we want to look at here? Their stats would be nice. Thank you very much. All right, goaltender, we know it's Jacob Markstrom. Jake Allen did play a lot of games, and he does have the better statistics technically, but you got to think that Marky Mark is going to be starting. 26, 16, and 6 record, 250 goals against, and a 900 save percentage. You would definitely want better numbers out of him, considering all the hype and everything, bringing him in. Didn't really, I thought when they brought in Jake Allen, I was like, I think that guy's good enough, honestly, and he's got the better numbers. His record isn't very good, though. He's got a negative record, 13, 16, and 1, but a 906 save percentage, but it's Markstrom. But if Markstrom gets lit up, I don't think they'll be shy to go to Jake Allen. So goaltending is, it's fine. You would want it to be better with a guy like Markstrom in there. You would want it to be more of a clear-cut advantage, but I don't think it is, honestly. Okay, so in terms of their skaters, Jesper Bratt was fantastic this year, 88 points in 81 games. Jack Hughes was great looking. He was well on his way to like a 90, maybe 100-point season. He had 70 points in 62 games, but he will not be playing. So then after that, you got Nico Hischier, quietly had a great season, 35 goals, 69 points, very nice. Timo Meier, personally, I've never really been a fan of that trade, bringing him in. He's a bit overpaid in my books, but 53 points in 80 games, 26 goals, Luke Hughes, their number one scoring defenseman, 44 points in 71 games, pretty good, and he's very young, and he's only going to get better. I believe Dougie Hamilton is back now. I didn't see him on the injured list, so that's going to help him out a lot. I know Hughes is a big loss, but the team isn't that, destroyed by Hughes. I don't even think Hughes would make that big of an impact because he is let's just kind of compare him to Marner. Like, he doesn't really have that playoff build. You know what I'm saying? He's not that playoff style of player where you think that his game would translate really, really well to the playoffs. Like, he's going to get hit harder than he's ever been hit. He would be targeted more. And, it would be rather unpleasant. I wouldn't be surprised if Jack Hughes was in this series if he got shut down and was held to like 3-4 points or something. Wouldn't be shocked, because that's just what I would personally expect in anyway. So I don't think it is obviously a big loss, but I don't think it's going to fucking guarantee that they're going to lose. They have really good other players, man. Like, Stefan Nason was blessed with a very, very hot start and then kind of petered out. Dawson Mercer, he had 18 goals. Andre Palat, he's, maybe he pops off in the playoffs. He's been known to do that in the playoffs, but they brought in a lot of guys. They brought in Dumoulin, Siegenthaler recently-ish. Brett Pesce was brought in. Paul Cotter, I think, was brought in as well. Andre Palat was brought in not that long ago. Timo Meier, all that stuff. So, and of course, Allmark. So they brought in a lot of guys, but I don't think there's all that much pressure, really, because of the fact they don't have Hughes. So if they lose, they're like, fine. Like, yeah, we didn't have our best player, so whatever. I think they could pretty much just play with house money at this point if they fucking, prove them wrong. I think the pressure's kind of been taken off the New Jersey Devils a little bit. They made the playoffs, so they did the thing that they were supposed to do. And then, I don't think fans really have a lot of hope because of Jack Hughes not being there. But I still think New Jersey has goal scorers, man. Like, they are, they have good stats. They're goals for, they're 18th, but goals against, they're 5th. Power play, 3rd. Like, they got an incredible power play. Penalty kill is 2nd in the league. So there's some really good things that this team is doing. We're just going to have to see if this team can find those goals in the playoffs. Like, is Jesper Bratt going to be able to do what he does in the playoffs? I don't know. I'm very curious to see how this team is going to play this season in the playoffs, but I am going to side with... Ooh, you know what? Am I going to side with Carolina? Like, the way I was talking about them, I'm really not convincing myself, but these two teams seem kind of similar, not in the way that they play, but just in terms of, like, they don't really have a lot of flashy guys putting up a lot of points because Jack Hughes isn't here, but I think it's going to be close. I think it will be Carolina. I will give Carolina the edge. I think Markstrom will be able to steal maybe a game or two. I think, maybe Carolina will take them a little bit easier just because they don't have Jack Hughes, but I don't know. I think it'll go to 7. I'll give the edge to Carolina right here. But, I think it's going to be closer of a series than we think. So I'll go with that. All right, we got one more, and it's not technically set in stone, but I guess we could technically take a look at Washington going up potentially against the Montreal Canadiens, or it could be the Columbus Blue Jackets, but we could definitely take a look at the Washington Capitals. So let's take a look at them. They're the President's Trophy winning team this season, right? Yep. So that's a case. President's Trophy teams tend to not do that great in the playoffs, but it's Washington. So you got a 4-6-0 record coming into the playoffs. They're on a 1-game winning streak. Ovi just broke the record, so that's going to take off some pressures, I guess. I don't think that would have really mattered in the playoffs because it doesn't. Plus 59 in terms of goals. 286 for, 227 against, so they can definitely score some goals. 26-9-6 at home, 25-12-3 on the road, so they're great either way, but they got home ice advantage throughout the whole entire playoffs. So that is a benefit for them. And in terms of their other stats, where are the Washington Capitals? Here we go. Second place in goals for, obviously, 3.51. That is insane. So these guys scoring at will. Goals against, 9th, so they're a top 10 defense. Power play, 14th. I think, that's actually better than I thought it would be because of the predictability of Ovechkin and his office where he plays on the power play, but it was still really good. And their penalty kill, 4th. So that is aside from Tampa Bay, the best numbers I've seen across the board so far. And in terms of statistics, let's start with goaltending. So Logan Thompson, he is going to be the starter. He had a really good year, new guy, and he ran with it, man. 31-6-6 record, outstanding. 249 goals against and the .910 save percentage. So very good across the board, above average goaltending numbers, 2 shutouts, and yeah, he will be the starter. Charlie Lindgren, also pretty good. 14 and 3, 273 and 894. So yeah, didn't quite capture the magic that he had last year, but thankfully they had Thompson there to clean it up. And so not a great year out of Charlie Lindgren, but I like him. We got Dylan Strome, point a game player this season, 81 and 81. Fantastic year for him. 1 goal shy of 30, 50 assists. Like, yeah, dude, he's been great. And his partner in crime, Alexander Ovechkin, 43 goals for the 40-year-old. Like, you kidding me? 72 goals, and who knows what this man will bring in the playoffs this year. He probably knows that this is going to be his best chance to get another Stanley Cup in his career. And so I think he's going to be a house of fire. In terms of injuries, didn't that Protas guy get hurt? Is he going to be hurt? Ooh. Okay, well, Nicholas Backstrom, he's done. TJ Oshie, he won't be in there. That sucks. Jacob Chikrin's on rest. All right, nope, looks like everyone 16th. So day-to-day for Alexei Protas. Okay, looks like everyone's going to be there. That should be there. Okay. So let's look at the stats again. Oh, whoa, not those stats. That's not what I'm looking for here. I just want the Washington stats. There we go. Okay, so Alexei Protas had a big breakout year, 30 goals, 36 assists, 66 points in 76 games, and very interested to see what this guy's going to do. He doesn't look like he hits all that much, but he uses his size and strength to get the puck and all that. I'm wondering if he will be a big body crushing hitter or whatever, but he had a great year. Pierre-Luc Dubois, quietly 65 points, man. That's one of his better seasons he has had, and let me just take a look at that. That's quite impressive, man. Quite impressive with all the shit that he has put himself through, and he's actually done very well. This is statistically his best season he has ever had. 65 points. That is something. So great, and it looks like he has finally found a home in Washington. That's great for the Capitals fan, and he has shown that he can be an absolute menace in playoff series. So that could be very, very dangerous. You got Tom Wilson, that guy's dangerous. He had 30-plus goals this season. That's amazing. Connor McMichael had 25 goals. That's crazy. Jacob Chikrin, defenseman, had 20 goals on the blue line. You got Mangiapane put in 14. Nick Dowd put in 14 goals. So, yeah, man, they have guys that could score in the top 6, the bottom 6. Their defense can fucking put in goals. Like, this is a dangerous team. Their defense is strong, goaltending strong, yeah, and they got the Ovechkin factor. Like, that guy's a crazy man, absolute crazy man. So, the Capitals look really strong. Let's just talk about the Canadiens. They're currently the opponent, so they have 89 points. If they win tonight, they got it. If they get 1 point tonight, they got it. If they lose in overtime, it's theirs. So they can't lose at regulation tonight. Then Columbus has a chance, but it's more than likely the Canadiens, so we'll talk about the Canadiens. If it changes, I will then do the Columbus Blue Jackets next week. But Montreal, right now, we got a 6-2-2 record in their last 10, so one of the stronger teams coming into the playoffs, and they needed it. They need to be playing strong down the stretch to make it into the playoffs, and they also got Demidov. Demidov is here, and he made an impact. A goal and 2 assists or something in his first game? Looking dangerous, bro, and they had the Habs fans fucking watching this kid fly into Canada, and they're going crazy. I love it. I think that's awesome. Like, do you not want to feel like you want to be you want to be here? Like, people want you here, Demidov. So, like, I'd be very happy to be treated that way by the fan base. 22, 12, and 6 at home, 17, 19, and 5 away. So, Habs definitely better at home. They got that crazy Bell Center, which is going to be, no disrespect to Columbus, but I really want to see the Bell Center, that atmosphere, the playoffs again. So, but they are a minus 22 in goal differential. I believe that would be one of the only teams with a negative differential. Yeah. Nope. Minnesota also has a negative differential, but okay. So, not good. People people give teams shit for that. And Columbus is a straight 0, so technically Columbus is better in that way, but so they're 241 goals for, 263 against, so not ideal. You don't want to have more goals going in than you are getting, so that's not great. Montreal, though, across the board, nothing really amazing. They're 17th in goals for, 23 in goals against, 21st in power play, and 9th in penalty kills. So you're like, how is this team getting into the playoffs? Good question. Well, we'll take a look. In terms of injury-wise, Kirby Dach, he's done, sadly. His knee, very, very sad to hear. Other than that, only Harvey Pinard. He will be back on the 29th, so slight chance he'll make it, but all right. So stat-wise, pretty fucking good year for the Montreal Canadiens. We'll start with the captain, Nick Suzuki. Hell of a year, 87 points in 81 games, 1 goal shy of 30. I mean, Nick Suzuki, super underrated. I love this player. I think he's amazing. And very excited to see what this guy could potentially do in the playoffs. You got Cole Caulfield finally broke through 30 goals. He got 37 this year, 69 points. Very nice. You got Lane Hudson, the rookie defenseman phenom. 59 assists right now. He has potential to get to that 60, 65 points. Crazy for a rookie defenseman. Juraj Slafkovsky, 50 points. I was expecting a little bit more out of him this year. He had some very hot flashes there where he just looked like he was going to be well into like the 70, 80 points this year, but he has had some ups and downs, but he's a young man, so, he'll get it going. Jake Evans had a hell of a year, but this is where you see like a huge drop-off in points. From Slafkovsky's 50, you go down to 35 points to the next highest score. So, yeah, not a lot of goal scoring going on for the Montreal Canadiens. You got Patrick Laine. He's got 20 goals in 51 games, so he probably would have broke 30 goals in a full healthy season. Outside of that, there's not a lot of great point producers on the Montreal Canadiens, but you got these young, up-and-coming phenoms that is going to be very exciting to see what they can do. And goaltending, it's not bad, not horrible. You got Sam Montembeault, 61 games played, 30, 24, and 7. 283 and a 901 save percentage, 4 shutouts. Pretty good. I'd say in and around average, maybe a slightly above average, but pretty good. And then Jacob Dobish, who had a hell of a run there, 7, 4, and 3, a 909 save percentage, and a 274 goals against. I don't think he will be starting. I think they're going to have to give that to Montembeault. If they make it there, he's earned it. But I don't think they would be shy to give Dobish a shot if they feel like, why not? I'd say throw him in there because he has stolen some games for the Habs this year for sure and has definitely helped them get into the playoffs. But with that being said, I don't think the Montreal Canadiens are going to provide too much of a challenge for the Washington Capitals if that is in fact who they are playing. The Washington Capitals are bigger, stronger, maybe not faster. They maybe not as like they definitely improved in terms of how young they got over the offseason, but I think the Canadiens still got them locked in there. Goaltending, it will be interesting. Like Sam Montembeault, unproven in the playoffs. Same thing with Thompson, I do believe. So that could be up in the air. Montembeault could be a phenom in the playoffs. Who knows? And then there's a whole bunch of other elements. Like all these players, Suzuki and Caulfield have had tastes of playoff, and they went deep. They went to the finals. So who knows, man? Like if this could be one of those teams, if they get in, they could be very, very dangerous. I don't want to be the President's Trophy winning team. So there's pressure. There's definitely pressure behind Washington. Like, you don't want to lose to one of the only teams coming in as a negative goal differential, a team that some fans would be like, yeah, I don't think this team deserves to be in the playoffs. There's other teams that did better and deserve to be in there, but they had a good year, man. I'm impressed with what the Habs did. Like, if only they got a few more wins in regulation. Like right now, they're only 39, 31, and 11. Not the most impressive looking record, but you take like 4 of those overtime losses, you turn them into wins, boom, you're at 43, then it'd look a little bit better. But I want them in there. No disrespect to Columbus. I think that atmosphere would be insane too. But the Habiton, man, come on. The Bell Center is going to be nuts. If it is the Washington Capitals, I'll have Washington taking them down in, let's go 5 games. Let's do, 5 games? Yeah, fuck it. We'll do 5 games. Actually, let's do 6. Let's do 6. We'll do Washington in 6. So there we go. What do you guys think? I think we'll be saving the Western Conference for next time. We're getting, holy shit, we're already over an hour. So yeah, we'll definitely be saving the West for next time, but it's Winnipeg versus St. Louis, Minnesota versus Vegas, Los Angeles versus Edmonton for the 4th year in a row, and then Dallas and Colorado, which looks like that is going to be, I would say, the show stealer of the first round. That is going to be freaking insane. I would say followed by Florida, Tampa, and then Toronto, Ottawa would be really good. LA and Edmonton could be really good too. A lot of good looking matchups here. The only one that I'm not really excited for is maybe Minnesota, Vegas. I don't really care much for, and then Carolina, New Jersey. I don't really care for, but all the other ones should be pretty fun, man. But let me know what your predictions are. We'll get into the Western predictions next week, but I guess we should talk about some other news that's been happening around the league. If I can just find my notes here. All right, so what is really interesting with Colorado right now, aside from Cale Makar scoring 30 goals this season, and they're going to be going up against the Dallas Stars, Gabriel Landeskog is skating. Like, this dude might come back, and he hasn't played a game in 3 years. This guy actually might come back, and that's crazy. Also, another factor for the Montreal Canadiens that could be huge is the Demidov factor. Like, consider this. The league doesn't know who this player is yet, so they don't know how to cover him. Like, we don't know what he can do yet, especially on NHL ice. So that's a thing. Teams don't know how to defend that kid yet, and he could just come in and start ripping teams to shreds. So that could be a thing. That's basically like a huge trade deadline acquisition. Like, you're getting a potential superstar. People are calling, like, this guy, Demidov broke Kucherov and Kaprizov's records over there in Russia. So people are expecting this guy to be Kucherov, Kaprizov levels. That's huge. That's insane. So holy fuck. I do not blame Montreal Canadiens fans for having hype. All right. So back to Landeskog playing. That's crazy, dude. He's doing a conditioning stint, I do believe, with the Colorado Eagles, and they're just going to kind of play it game by game, hour by hour, minute by minute, and see what is going to happen. But wow. That would be one of the biggest stories of the year if Landeskog laces the skates up and plays for the Colorado Avalanche in the playoffs for the first time in 3 years. That would be insane. That would be so freaking crazy, and I want it to happen. So I'm rooting for Gabriel Landeskog, but all my fingers are crossed. I'm rooting for this guy. I hope he. Wait, are you not supposed to cross your fingers? I don't know. All right, well, good luck, Gabriel. I really hope you make it. That is a crazy, crazy story. And speaking of crazy story, the New York Rangers. Oh, my goodness. Only the 4th team in NHL history to go from President's Trophy to absolute chumps. Missing the playoffs. Just a disaster, chaotic year where everything was going wrong. People fucking hate each other. They kicked the captain off the team. He's out of here. Get out of here. Yeah, ugly stuff. And there's definitely going to be fallout in the offseason through this. Who knows how many more guys are going to get traded? Like, what about Kreider? Adam Fox had a fucking really bad year. Is that guy going to get traded? What about the coaching staff? Like, they're probably all gone. Like, yeah, it's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad for the Rangers. And then on top of that, they had Calvin DeHaan just shredding them to pieces as an organization. Like, he's like, yo, this team's a fucking joke. Like, I'm a great defenseman. When I'm in the lineup, we're winning. And then they benched him. They sat him for like 18 straight games. And now he's like, well, fuck this. Like, I'm gloves are off. I'm just going to rip this team to shreds. And yeah, this is coming quite common where teams, when a player is done with New York Rangers, they get traded or they retire or whatever, they got nothing but bad things to say about the organization, how they were treated and just disrespectful and all that stuff. So yeah, the appeal of playing for New York is nothing like it was in like 2005, 2006, where any free agent, big money get thrown at him, you're going to the New York Rangers. Like, how many guys did that? Like Brad Richards, others. So lots of guys did it. So yeah, that's a discussion now. It's like, all right, like, it's not really the money or anything that's bringing, like, people are still going to go to New York. They still want to go play for New York. New York is a crazy place to be in, live in, and just a crazy. Some people love it. Me, I don't want anything fucking to do with that kind of shit. That's the last place I want to live, probably. But people still do. So you're still gonna have people coming to the Rangers. It's not like they're on every team's no trade list, like they're Canadians or something. But Yeah, man, as an organization, looking bad. Looking really, really bad. Everything that could have gone wrong pretty much went wrong this year. And can they rebound from that? Is this something they rebound from and they're right back in contention next year and just kind of write this one off as a mulligan? And who knows, man? But that's not a good statistic going at being only the 4th team ever to win a President's Trophy and then miss the playoffs the next year. I know it's happened where a team has won the Stanley Cup and then not made the playoffs the next year. Very bad as well, but at least you won a Stanley Cup, right? The Rangers got nothing to show for it other than playoff losses. So we'll see where the Rangers rebound from here. Can't be good. Just not good stuff. But we'll finish off with a piece of sad/nice news for San Jose, and that is Logan Couture is calling it a career. This will be his final playing season with the San Jose Sharks. Now, I take that comment as sounding like, is he going to play for someone else maybe? Or are you done? It sounds like he's done, but also from what I read in that comment, it kind of sounded like maybe he'll play somewhere else. But I don't know. A good career for Logan Couture. I thought he was a really good player on a really good team, and then he was kind of the last remnants of that good team that ended up sticking around and through the rebuild here, and he won't be there for when they get out of that rebuild, but who knows, maybe he sticks around like Joe Thornton and Marleau and all those guys, and they just hang around, they're at the rink, just being a part of everything, so I would not be shocked if he does that as well, does something organizationally with the Sharks, stay around, and watch this team become what they become, man, because, like, what Will Smith and Celebrini have been doing, like, didn't they have, like, a 5-point game or some shit? Like, fucking crazy. So, things look really bright. We say that about a lot of teams, and not all of them get out of it, Buffalo. But, some things actually looking fairly decent for San Jose. So at least Celebrini looks amazing. So that's good. And I think that's everything we're going to talk about. We'll save the Western playoff predictions for next week. We'll talk about those 4 matchups. And if by chance the Columbus Blue Jackets do make it into the playoffs, we'll redo the Washington series, and we relook at that. But I don't think my opinion will change. I still think the Washington Capitals are going to get through the first round. At least I hope so. And so let me know what your predictions are. Let me know who you think is going to win, how many games. What is the playoff series you're most excited for? Is it the Battle of Ontario? Is it the Battle of Florida? Is it the battle of the best in the West between Colorado and Dallas? Like, both of those teams are Stanley Cup contenders, and we're losing one of them in the first round. It sucks, but we get that matchup in the first round, which I think I would rather have those two teams play each other in the first round than see them beaten up and battered and bruised and not get the best of them in the third round. So I'm fine with them playing in the first round. It is what it do, baby. Like, yeah, it fucking sucks for Dallas, but it sucks for freaking Colorado too. They don't want to play Dallas. Dallas is amazing. But hey, well, we'll discuss that. We'll discuss them next week. We'll not get into it. But there we go, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. You the best. You want to be even more the best, though, make sure you're reviewing and liking the podcast. Rate it wherever you're listening to it. You can drop a comment on Spotify, and I upload all of these episodes to the YouTube channel, GamerGX Videos. Link in description. Go there, subscribe, and all that great stuff. And you can drop a comment on the YouTube video as well. You want a question answered live on the podcast. Anything about wrestling, hockey, or video games would be preferred. And I can answer my buddy Kyle's question. He asked me, who would I prefer over the Sens or the Florida Panthers? Well, we're getting the Sens now, and that was my answer. I wanted the Sens. I didn't want anything to do with the Panthers because the Panthers are going to beat the shit out of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And that is detrimental for them for any reason. I don't want them to get beat up. They'll get less beat up against the Senators. They're still going to get beat up, but definitely not as bad as it would be with the Panthers. So that's my thought. I'm not saying that. I'm not even taking in consideration the history that the Leafs have over the Ottawa Senators in the playoffs. That doesn't matter to me. That was 20 years ago. Well over 20 years ago. Yes, the Leafs own the Sens in the playoffs. Decades ago. So that does not play into me. None of those players are even around anymore. So there you go. But yeah, I'm amped for the Battle of Ontario, but I think the matchup of matchups is Colorado versus Dallas. That is going to be crazy, but don't miss it. Just try and watch as much as you can when you can. So there we go, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. You the best. And in terms of what else got going on with the podcast this week, it's gonna be a big one, baby. It is WrestleMania weekend. Oh my goodness. So not only is the WrestleMania night 1 and 2, that's like 10 hours of wrestling. You got NXT Stand and Deliver, another pay-per-view, so 3 pay-per-views. So 3, that's going to be I don't know if I'll probably just do it all in one big pay-per-view review, or I might split it up in 2. I don't know. There'll be that, the weekly recap for all the wrestling. And in terms of the GamerCast, I think, I can't decide when I want to do. It's rather game-changing, or like games as an impact on me. The games that had the biggest impact on me in terms of life and just my life as a gamer. Or I'm going to be doing another backlog episode focused in on games that I don't own yet, but I want to. I will own them at some point. It's just I haven't gotten them. So we could be doing another backlog episode, or an episode just talking about a bunch of games that changed my life or shaped me into the way that I am now, some shit like that. I'm just worried about if I do that episode, there's some games on that list that I've just recently talked about, so I don't want to get repetitive and shit. So we'll see. Regardless, there'll be something there for y'all this week with the GamerCast as always. So there we go, everybody. One more time, you the best. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back again with some GX Plus case.